Oh. The thing shut off. Wow. How much is this? $20. So quickly waiting for TikTok. So quickly waiting for TikTok. Can you hear me? Dang, that's a lot of space. What's that? Okay, I shall see that. Alright. What is this now again? Oh, tic-tac-toe. Hey. So, what are we doing today? Because we finished the entire week 4 Mm. Can hide my screen quickly. Oh, what's happening here? I just need to check my email for something. Hmm. Week. Sia, how are you? Where's week 4? When was week 4? Let's see. Need recap 8 and 9. Okay. Okay. Uh yeah, we are done with all the lessons, so I wanna know, is there anything I need to recap? Uh Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to check. E-commerce. E-commerce. Okay, let's check App Academy first. Anything related to App Academy first. Because we've got week 3 as well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Week is the week 2. Yeah, so guys, please wanna know. Okay, someone asked for a recap of lesson 8 and 9. Someone asked for a recap of lesson 8 and 9. On lesson 8. Okay. So I think let me explain lesson 8 and 9, because there's also someone else on YouTube who's asking for lesson 8 and 9. So let's see. Eight and 9, please. Do you go over your own lessons that aren't on App Academy? Yes. Yes. Hi, Umpile. Thank you for the hot me. Yes, I do go over my own lessons as well. Okay. Why do you keep doing that? Ah, thank you so much. Yo, you just took the entire roses. Thank you so much, Umpile. 8 and 9, 8 and 9, 8. Thank you, Tando, for the hot me. Thank you for the finger hearts, Umpile. Oh, TikTok Studio is freezing. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, Studio's just deciding to freeze. Darcy. Okay, so let's do lesson 8. Um, thank you so much, Umpile. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Okay, we'll start by lesson 8 quickly. Guys, if you have any question, please let me know so we can go over it. Uh, thank you so much, Tando. You took the title. Thank you so much. It's like as soon as I come this side. Lesson 8. Yes, I'm on lesson 8. Art for you. Lesson 8, lesson 9. Yes. Cool. So with lesson 8, right? What we were learning basically is um re- returning from a function, right? So let's just quickly go back to where did we do functions? Let's go to lesson 6. Why does my thing look so weird? Okay, interesting. Okay, so what we're doing now, right? We want to see, or we were asking function returns, right? So let's first understand what a function is. A function is basically a block of code that is returned, or that it's a block of code that is reused within your project, right? So we have this function called toggle text, right? So what the function does is the name of the function will be what it does. So it toggles text. So we want that this function does something when the word JavaScript is clicked, or when this H2 is clicked. So we use a function so we don't have to write multiple lines of code to do the same thing again and again, right? So here we created a function called toggle text, and toggle text will now take a variable and set toggles content as the variable, right? Then what it does is as soon as it figures out like someone has clicked, the function is run, then toggle is assigned to whatever the content would be. And then the moment it does an if statement, it checks to see if whatever's in there is equal to JavaScript, as an example for first. It will then change the inner text to is awesome. But now if you click it again, it does that same process again, where it will now run toggle text function, come in here and set is awesome. Hi Shane. It will set is awesome. Kali Linux on Android. I've never done that. I've done Kali Linux on a virtual machine, not on Android. Okay, cool. So now is awesome would be in this place. We're doing JavaScript and HTML. Okay, so what would be in this place would be is awesome because we've already clicked the text. Now it's toggled and it has changed. So let me show it to you practically what I mean by it changes. So let's see, so we can understand exactly what this function is doing. Then you'll see what a function does. There. Okay. So, oh, this one. So you see lesson 6 right here, right? The moment I click on um the JavaScript, the code here gets run and it changes JavaScript to is awesome. So you see how we have is awesome here now, right? So now that we have is awesome here, think of this text as is awesome now. Don't think of JavaScript. It's now as is awesome. So how it is there, it's now is awesome. Then when someone clicks on this button again, it will now run this function again, then set this to whatever is in here. So it will set the variable to whatever is in this HTML element, which is h2. So now when you look at it visually, what the code does, it changes this toggle to be equal to is awesome, right? So it will change it to be is awesome. That's basically what it does. Now when you look at it, okay, cool, no problem. Okay, so you see how it's now set to is awesome, because you're looking here, it's now on is awesome. So when someone clicks this button, it now comes into this if statement and it checks that, okay, is awesome. Okay, so what was I? Ish, bots. All right. So now that it's is awesome, it now obviously sees that, okay, this is not equal to JavaScript. Now I need to change it back to be JavaScript. So when we click on it, actually, I need to now change it back to JavaScript. Yes, so now when we click on it, it toggles back to JavaScript. So that's what the function does. It basically runs code. So it's like a block of code that is reusable within your project, so you do not repeat code, right? So that's what this does here. So that's what a function does. So now let's come to lesson 8, like you asked, right? So now in lesson 8, we talking about returning in functions, right? So when you look at a function, this is so big. When you look at this function, what does it mean of being off? Thank you, Mass Fitness, for the heart me. Okay, now when you look at this function called run lesson, right? Run lesson is just the function to call a function we want to use. So the reason we've got two functions, right? This function does the calling of adding the numbers together. So when I say calling, I mean it's the one that passes in the values into this function, and the value gets returned onto here. Okay, let's see. I'm on 375. How is sound loud? Which part? 8. So what I'm saying is the reason we've got two functions here, right? So I wanted to show it to you visually. So this function, this function is called add numbers return, okay? So what it does, it returns an answer. So what happens is if we give this function a 10 and a 7, if we give it a 10 and a 7, what it does, it will put 10 here and 7 here, calculate them as 17, then it will return 17. So when I say it will return 17, it means here, this that you see here will become 17, just like that. So it will return the answer and you will see the 17 here. So think of the function as a placeholder of the return answer. So if you see this, all we're doing is we're passing in values, right? We pass in values, it does the calculation, and it says, here's your answer. So whatever I was on, I'm now the answer. So the function is now the answer. Hence, we're calling this function here, because this function will return the answer for us. So now the reason it's on a function in a function is because this function is there to actually run the entire flow, because we want to show the result as well as calculate our numbers. So it needs to be called somewhere. So we're just showing it all in one line. I don't know if that makes sense. So num1. So remember, these nums are just placeholders. These are placeholders. So the moment the real value comes in, think of what JavaScript will do. It will replace whatever you put in the positional arguments or parameters, and it will replace it and do the actual calculation. So what we have here is 10 and 7. So look at 10. Um, how do you all do that snipping tool thingy? Control S or something like that. Hey, I don't know. I wanna be able to draw. Okay, I can't draw on here. So I wanna show you. So this num 10 is now num1, then 7 is now num2. So then obviously num1 will be 7 here, num2 will be, will be 10 here, and then num2 will be 7 here. Then it returns 17, then 17 gets populated here. Then what happens is inside this addition 8, we're now replacing the inner HTML to show this plus the answer we just got. Please explain the div class lesson to close the div. To the close of div. What? What do you mean? Yes. Mlungisi, please rephrase your question. Okay, is there anyone else who needs some help? Was it 8 and you said 8, ne? And 9? Was it 8 and 9 or just 8 and 9? Okay. Sorry about that. Which is sorry. Okay. I just wanted to see. Utilize what? Snip and sketch. Oh, I don't have it. Okay, cool. So, where's the chat? Yes, and 9, the global thing. Oh, okay. So what's happening here? Variable scopes, right? So this is just us showing how we use variables and how functions can actually call variables or actually use variables, right? So what's happening here is we've got a global variable called global variable, right? And it says I'm a global variable. That's the value of global variable. Okay. So now when we have this function called demonstrate scope, I want you to see we've got this a local variable, meaning it's inside the function. So it's a variable within the function. Okay. So the reason it's local is because it's used in the function, and then global means it's outside. Any other function can use it. So first, let me show you um what happens here. When we click on demonstrate local scope, demonstrate local, oh, they're not working. Oh, that's why. Okay. Wait. Demonstrate local scope output. Yes, it shouldn't work. Okay. So maybe we can do this. Okay. So what I want to show you is when we click on um demonstrate local scope, nothing should be happening. Demonstrate local scope. Yeah. Alert. Am I the mad one? Do, do. Mm-mm. Cool. My thing is tripping. That is exactly the same. Let me just explain it. That doesn't matter. Okay, so what's happening here? We've got demonstrate scope and then demonstrate local scope. So think of this as global, right? So this function is able to access this global variable because it is a global variable, meaning it's outside it's outside the function, right? But this function can't access this local variable, which is this one, because it's a variable that is within another function. So it's not available in the same scope. So it's not in the global scope, meaning any function can use it. Only demonstrate scope can use it. So wherever you are, if you have a function, if you have a variable in a function, and then you've got another function that might need to use that same variable, you can't use it because it's part of the local scope of that function. So that's the difference between these two. So what we're showing here is when we click on this button, we can still see the global scope, right? And the local scope, because it is this is global and this is within the function. But here we can't see this local variable because it's here and this does not know, or does not know about it. It can't find it. So it can't use it. That's the reason behind it too. Bronze get excavated. Yeah. Do you understand now art for you? And what else was it? And six. Yeah, so global is literally in the name. Global scope is basically saying that I'm a variable that is available throughout the entire scope, right? And then local is saying only in this function that I am in, this function can use me, no one else. Cool. Is there anyone else? My but yeah, okay, yeah, my buttons show nothing when clicked. Both the buttons will only demonstrate. So I can already see you've got a bug in. Oh, so if you look at your div class output, your ID is SCPE instead of scope. So it should be scope output. So that's why nothing is going into that. And then function should have function space demonstrate scope. Yo, no, your code is actually very all over the place. So just look at this. So you'll see we've got global variable, right? Then we have the function. And then in the function, you've got your local variables and all the information. Then outside this function, you have another function, not in the same function. So that's where your problem is. So it's the ID of the output div, and then where you actually have your functions and the code for those functions. Double up on double use. Are there any questions related to App Academy? Anything I need to recap? Go back to? Bring verse in a safe. All this for prediction parallel to fade. Don't ever say it. Face but I'm gonna need it. They hate. I think I got questions about this as well. Uh what was it, week 2? Was that week 3? Week 3. Pine City Zoo. Anyone have issues with week 3 stuff? Any issues with week 3 stuff? Also, out for you, you can go to the repo and you'll find the code there. Maybe you can reference the code on the repo. So the code on the repo, is it? There's it. And you'll find all the code there. Overcome the fear of dying. So what's the problem? How can I help? Why am I hearing something else? What's your problem? How can we assist? How can we assist? Pine City. I know I didn't finish it from the last time we did it. Yeah, sure. Sure, you can. Where's it playing from now? You can do that. Where did I get the most questions? Let's see. Maybe we can answer questions. So you guys don't know what you want to do, basically. Should I move back to the e-commerce site? There's no comments. Okay, I answered this one. External version. Okay, let's maybe try that. Can you do an external version of the script like you linked CSS? Okay, so let's see. Because when I end it, so I'll find it a conversation. So what we'd do there, we'd create a new file called script.js, and then now we just start moving our code. So let's move that. Just format your code nice. Okay, then we've got lesson 2. If you want to, comes with the inconsistency.com. Truth, not in the past, it can be you. Okay, like Boolean views, guaranteed views, and click. Yeah. Okay, listen, what is this toggle text? Person just interpretation. Oh. May you please explain the Boolean part of if and else in JavaScript if you can? Okay, let's do that. Explain the Boolean part of if and else. So you wanna understand you wanna understand why an if else state how an if else statement works, or Is that what I'm getting correct? That today. Yes, you don't get it. Okay, perfect. Let's do that then. Okay, so now you see what we've done here. All the script or all the functions are now in one file. So all you would do here is after, just before the end of your body, you would add how a script source and then do script.js, and that's it. So just like that, you've linked your script to your HTML file. Why is gotta Why did it disconnect? So let's see if it still works, and then let's move on to, there we go. So it still works the way it should be working. So your JavaScript is basically still working. So that's how you do it. Cool. So someone wants to understand the if else statement. If else, if let's listen like for. Okay, lesson 4. So here's lesson 4, right? So understanding what the if else statement is, right? So if else statement is a conditional, right? So for an if statement, you honestly wish I don't know how to, like, if I could just draw, I feel like that would make it so much easier with the mouse. Does anyone know how to do that? If I could like just draw on the screen. I don't think anyone knows one. Okay, focus. Oh, Epic Pen. Okay, I'll just download this while I'm paying for Jack. Codependent, codependent. Uh, I'm not a year. I'm currently employed. Just because you didn't change. Are there any song requests actually? Guys can also request songs if you want. Snipping tool not showing me drawing. I check snipping tool. It's not showing me draw. Okay, let me just explain this while that install. Okay, whatever. I'm not a Windows. Okay. Okay. That is, mm, okay, I'm the problem. I am the problem. Let's do a new. Let's quickly test you out. I'm really the problem. Thank you, BQ. Thank you for that, BQ. Where was I here? Let's see. I say I'll give you a assignment. Central Sea Strangers. What strangers? I said sea. What? Central Sea Bunny? Strangers. Sunshine, Company, opinions. What season do you think is the season the waiting? I see now we strangers. Okay, we'll get back to you. You'll tell me if that's the right one. So, there, I can draw. Yes. So, what I'm saying here, right? Yes, that's the one. Okay. Let's play it next. Yeah, it's just I hardly respond. Hence, I stay here on the live for so long and I ask people if they have questions, they raise them, I help you now. Because during the day I'm working, remember? So I have to work during the day, then do this after. Cool. So this, right? This must always be true. Ooh, I need a mouse. Damn. Or maybe it's JavaScript. There we go. No, I need a mouse. This is just nonsense. Okay, I'll just point this right here. Okay, this must be true. So when you look at this specific line, when you add your condition here, for this part to run, this part that I've put with an arrow, for this part to run, this needs to be true. So what I mean by that is if you have a conditional, right? So right here we have a conditional called if user statement is equal or user password is equal to 007. So what it wants to check now is the value of user password. Is the value of user password 007? If it is 007, then it checks is this value equal to this value. The moment it sees that, okay, they both equal, then it runs this specific line. It will not run this line until this is true. So the reason we say if this is true, it's because we're basically saying that it means user password is equal to 007. Therefore, that's true. You are checking if it's true. And then this is when this is false. So if the password the user entered, I'm not paying for nothing. Uh-uh. So if this part is run, it's because this was false, meaning whatever the user entered was not equal to 007. Therefore, the expression was false. All right. So that's what we use with if else statements. It's for when you want to have something to be run if something is equal to something, or if you've got a condition that's true, then something else will run. If not, then it will be false. Let's see. Okay. Do we understand? Who was asking? Bongani, do you understand? So it's the same here, right? It's the same here. So here, what we're getting is we've got a list of different weather statements, right? So it now checks if this specific weather statement is equal to any of these, right? So it will check each of these. So it will get whatever the user selected. Let's say they selected sunny. So this value will now be sunny. Yo, trackpad is just not it. So if this is sunny, okay, it comes here and the word sunny is populated right here. So the word sunny would be populated here. Then now what it does, it now pushes the sunny in here, checks, okay, does sunny, is sunny equal to sunny? Yes, it is. Then it will start running only this code. And the reason we have a break here is because we want the entire switch statement to stop because we've found what we wanted to find. So that's the reason why we've got a break here. So all it's doing, it's now setting advice to this specific statement. Therefore, as advice will come here, right? So advice now, whatever the statement is, it comes up here. Okay. So now the moment it's up here, let's move this. So once advice comes up here, we now have this value of where your where your sunglasses and sunscreen. Then this now comes there, right? This now comes down there. Oh, have to do it like that. Okay, interesting. Yes, so now advice is equal here. So whatever we got here, I don't know, do you all see the flow basically? Do you see the flow? It starts, all starts here. How? That's so thick. It all starts here. I don't know why the size went so big. It all starts here. Whatever the user selects gets assigned here. Then that assignment comes down here. Then the moment it comes here, it now starts doing cases. It checks, is whatever's in here equal to any of these statements. Let's say it was equal to rainy. So whatever the user selected was called rainy. Okay, it was called rainy. So since it was called rainy, now it comes into this block, in this block, and then it leaves everything else. It does not touch any of these, it leaves everything else. It comes in this block and it sets advice, which was up here. So it sets advice, it takes advice and puts it up there. Okay, so whatever value is here, it puts it up there, then it breaks. Then obviously after the break, we've got something else, which is this document dot get element by id dot inner html is equal to advice. So when we say dot inner html, it means we're saying inside this specific element, we want you to change the content to advise. And remember, now we know that advise is whatever we got from here, which came back up there, right? Then from there, it comes all the way here, right? That's the flow. Do you understand that part? This is the new era. Call me, I wanna be. Do we understand? Are we good? Any other questions? Yes, yes. So you can write the if without having any else. So where's it? Lesson 4. So you could just say if something because you just want to check. So you could have it like this. Maybe you don't want an else statement. You don't want a fallback. So your else is basically saying if this is not working out, please do this. So if you're saying that You're just checking something to say, maybe you want to check if the user's an admin as well. So let's say we had var user role equal to admin, right? So if now, let's have it in quotes. If maybe you're checking that, okay, is this user an admin? If the user is an admin, then do this. You don't need an else. So you just want to check only if the user is an admin. So in this if the parse is correct, maybe you can add another if to say if user role equals admin, and then I want you to just say a special alert to the user to say you are an admin. But obviously you don't need to now do something. You don't want to tell a client that you are a normal user, whatever. So you just want to send or do a specific thing for an admin. So you can just have an if without an else, and then here you can still have the normal else that we had, which was I think document dot incorrect password. So you see, this if does not have an else. On its own, it does not have an else. It's just checking one thing and returning something. If not, it will not do anything else. So you can write an if without an else. You can just have an if only. Are we together? The plan in motion. Ultra focused. Voice code. Just some. Are we good? Okay, thank you. Create another photos. Any other questions? Does anyone need help with anything? Week 1 all the way to week 4. Week 1 all the way to week 4. It's an illusion out here causing confusion. It's better not switch off. Oh, for real. No worries, no worries. Or should we move to the e-commerce? What's the time? Oh, I know what we could do actually. Firebase. Okay. Can't say it's network. So hey, my teaching Firebase. Yeah. I myself am not a pro at it actually. Is my network dropping or what? Any questions, guys? So I'll just continue this. What? HI. No, I'm thinking also. I think that will be part of App Academy. So it's not done yet. We have to wait for that. Is it? Yeah, from tomorrow actually. But the backend stuff I hear. Yo, lesson 9. Nothing happens now. Oh, wait. Oh, no wonder. Wait. Open recent. Hey. Oh, my head good taste. What's your picture? TikTok universe. Yo. Can I get a universe as well? Where is that? What's happening here? Is it coding? Yes, people are learning how to code, but right now they're quiet. I don't know. I don't know if they know what they want today. Like they are quiet. Did I break it? It's not pressing now. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Demonstrate scope. Listen. Hi, Karabo. Let me see something. Let's make a show my shoulder eat. Hey. What's missing here? Oh. It is on YouTube as well, yes. You know, that could have been the reason why it wasn't working. I'm so... See, errors, guys. Errors. Thank you, Karabo. That was the error. Thank you so much, Karabo. Thank you. I need to actually see. Yes, so the first button won't work. It's not gonna do anything because we don't have the local variables to show you that nothing's gonna happen because we can't access the local variable. Then the global one works. So see, nothing happens there. Then that one works. Thank you for the popular vote. Votes. Hi. Do you get paid by doing these or you're doing it by heart, my guy? I'm doing it by heart. Simphiwe Radebe. Yes, I'm live on Simphiwe Radebe. This is the account. Simphiwe Radebe underscore underscore. So you can just go watch the catch ups on there. And yeah. I know, but we know Ablo in this rap jungle survival. Please answer me as well. Yes, you can go. Do you mean you want me to check a message or what? Green app. Okay, let me try and open it. No, it should not be red. Out for you. Tiffany. Thank you so much, Matt's Fitness. Appreciate you so much. Thank you. Blessings raining over me. 5 base interest, bro. We haven't done it with App Academy yet. That's a problem. So we haven't done it on App Academy yet. We have to wait for App Academy to do it as well. Oh, hey, I'm not loading my emails. Hey. So that's what I was saying. Currently, so we'll see tomorrow what the lesson's about, but we'll have to wait for the next week. Yeah. So if we haven't done it, I can't go ahead of App Academy. That is not right. Very not right. Thank you so much for the hot what hand hat and mustache. hat and mustache. Oh, life goal achieved. Thank you so much. Garab, if you're still here, there's the thing. You just have to be connected to your live, and then it's right there. There's all these things. I think I might pay for the pro one as well. Because you see a lot. Okay, cool, guys. I'm not seeing anything. I'm not seeing anything. That's you guys are fine. Wait, I didn't check YouTube. Yo. I missed. Okay, let me go back. Okay, found my error. When are we gonna work on Flutter? Because the last time we touched on it, but we never got back to it. I will try. We'll try and see when we can touch on it again. At least I got a way to stream on the Mac too, like just straight from the Mac. Because on the virtual machine, it's a bit difficult to do Android Studio. And then what is backend all about? So that's where all your data lives. Basically, your APIs, your user information, products if it's an e-commerce, all that stuff. I have it, but JavaScript winner. Yes. I think we could. Oh, how about we build small like a budget tracker, something simple to follow along. Hopefully, it's not too long. Okay, that's a good. Um, so like if we use this in our website, we just do copy and paste update function. No, so this is you now learning the concept. You're just learning the concept so you can apply it in doing your own sites. Can we do a game of rock paper scissors? I did. Yes, you can. I did a tic tac toe one of the lives, but I wasn't doing it with the people. So we can see. Maybe we can do. The problem is, yo, this was a lot. It's a lot of stuff. So there's the. Yo, how do I exit this thing? That is. It's what making my thing is slow. Okay. Um. So you'll see here. There's X and O's basically. And this is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So it's very possible. Just look at the JS though. Is it? This is just the JS. But it's actually not bad. Maybe let's do something else. But yeah, similar. Maybe a game. So what game? Because I did Snake on Python. We're obviously not on Python, so let's try and find something new we can do. What's the time? 43. Hmm. Should we do the budget tracker? BQ. It was part of. It wasn't part of App Academy lesson, but when was it? Let me see when I committed. It was yes, day before yesterday. So check on the lesson from day 11. What day 12? Day 12. So should we do a budget tracker? How to host and deploy on GitHub? I've I'll be so honest with you. I've never hosted on GitHub. Have I? No. I use Netlify. I haven't hosted on GitHub, like host a website on GitHub pages. I've used Netlify, so I host on Netlify. Okay, I'm taking a decision of doing like a budget tracker then. So let's create a repo. Let's close these things. So let's put our skills to the test. Do a quick budget tracker. Platinum. Oh, you know, so permanent. Uh, get up desktop. Okay, so let's remember we're doing top of school. It's easy. Yeah, it may be easy for you, but it's not easy for other people. It's not gonna be easy for everybody. Okay, so let's create a new repo. So we'll call it budget tracker. We're obviously using JS, so we'll just say JS. Simple budget tracker. Create repo. So we're doing a budget tracker. That's how long it can take us. I'm hoping at least till 10:30. At least till like 10:30 on the Sunday day. Okay, let's just publish this repo. We'll open it. Yeah. I should make it to a secret location. Money coming in and out. How far we need to save it. Hit the gas. Okay, cool. Let's open up VS Code. So, VS Code, we'll go to open folder, and then we open the folder that Git just created for us. So it's budget tracker JS. All right. So first thing we'll do is we'll create an index.html, right? And style.css, and then a script.js. All right. So script.js, index.html, and then style.css. No, I don't know it. I do not know one compiler. It's like a name one compiler. I don't know it. Are we together? Are we starting this together? It's an HTML website. It makes things easy. Oh no, I don't know it at all. I don't. Yeah, HTML is just for teaching. Let's see. One compiler. Hello, good and me. Hi, Stardust. Oh, okay, I see it. It's like hi, Bernice. How are you? Welcome. It took you 1 hour 22 minutes to get here. 1 hour 22 minutes. Okay, so I see it. I see it. So you can do everything in the IDE or online. No, that's a good plug. Thank you for that. YW what? YH what? Yeah. Thank you for that, guys. Here's a plug from someone in the comments. It's one compiler. You can write the code on here. I guess everything works. That's actually quite good. So I can just run this and I should get it in here. Okay. That is nice. That is nice. That is very nice. Uh, that's very nice. No, thank you for that plug, guys. There's one compiler, and I'm sure if you're using a phone, you could use this. If you're using a phone, you could actually use this now that I think of it. So you could use this if you're using a phone. One compiler. Huh? Please pronounce my name as Yuha. Yuha. Did I say it right? Yuha. 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 Yeah. Thank you so much for that. Okay, guys, let's do our budget tracker, so you guys can stop wasting money. You can stop wasting money. So let's obviously jump over to our CSS quickly. Hi Banele. Jump over to our CSS, and I'm good, Bernice. I'm very good. Thank you for asking. Can't believe I did not reply. I'm very good, very good, very good. Okay. So we'll start with our body, right? Where's Yes, it's like an editor online. So it's like VS Code but online. So I'm guessing you can even use your phone because you can run it on there and see everything on there. That's very, very good. Okay, so we'll start with our body. Let's have a font family. Arial. Maximum width. We can give it like 800 pixels. So it's just for us to maximize how big we want our entire budget tracker to be. So we don't want it to fill the screen, so we're just gonna do like a 800 pixel max width, meaning if your screen is 1200 pixels, the maximum width will be 800 pixels. Yeah, no, those do work a lot. They do work a lot. Okay, then do a margin. Okay. Uh 20 pixels auto, and then some padding. Our paddings will be 20 pixels, and then we've got a background. We can do a linear gradient. So this is just so we have that nice what's this, blending color, right? We'll do a 135-degree angle, right? And then the color will be um cut that changes. Okay, we'll do like a green. We'll see. And then let's do 45. It's like a darker green. Okay, let's close this. Okay, then we'll do our minimum height to be 100 view height. So we want it to stay as our view height, like our entire view height. Then our text, set that to like a gray. Cool. That's our body, right? So with our body down, now let's go to our index.html, quickly create our bare bone structure. This will be budget tracker uh with JS. Cool. We've got budget tracker with JS, and we just want to link our CSS as well. So it's link CSS. Boom. Cool. So we've done our CSS. Now let's go into our body, start doing the structure of the actual site. So we'll do a div first, the class of container. So no, I can train here and there, but not create an entire AI. I cannot do that. Cool. So we're creating a container, right? This will be where all our entire budget tracker will be in this. Basically, our entire budget tracker would be in here, right? So we'll start with having a heading for our budget tracker. So we'll do an H1 with a budget tracker. All right. Then the first part is, if we think of a budget tracker, we would maybe have, the first thing you'd see is like a summary, right? So if we look at the site, we'd say we want the first thing. If you look at your site, we want a summary, then you've got a way to add certain transactions, then you can see your recent transactions. Basically, your summary will show you everything, right? So we'll start with a summary. Okay, so this will be a div. with the class of summary. I hope we're still together. Summary. Okay. Then this will have we'll have three cards. So it will be summary and we will have three cards, your income, expenses, and the balance. So you can just see those different stuff, right? Okay. Cool. So the first thing we'll do is we'll have another div in this div, right? This div will be our card. So we'll have a class of card and we want to duplicate this 3 times. So you can just copy it, paste it second, then paste it 3 times. So you should have 3 divs of card, right? So we haven't done the CSS yet. We're just naming them now, and then we're going to go back to the CSS. So our div will contain of a heading. So this heading will be, the first one will be income. Okay. And then we'll have another div. And then this div will just have the amount. So we'll just start with 0 Rand. But here we need to give this div a few classes or class and ID so we can use it in JS. So we'll have a class of amount and a class of income, right? So it's just for different styling, and then an ID so we can use it in JavaScript, total income. Remember what I said about camel casing? JavaScript. So since it's 2 different words, the next word starts with the cap. So this is camel casing. So slower, then you move to the next will be uppercase. So that's what we'll have in our cards. So you can just copy these two and then paste them in each of the divs. Okay. So this one will be expenses. No, I don't think so. No, no. I'm not sure, but I don't think so. I'm using VS Code only for the live. I use WebStorm. That's my preferred IDE. So I prefer JetBrains stuff. Cool. So we've got amount with income. This is now our expense, right? Expense. Sorry. And this will be total expense. Okay. And then we've got balance. So how much you currently have. 100%. 100%. Cool. We've got our total income, total expense, and then our balance. This is our summary tracker, right? So this will be our summary to show us what we have currently, okay? So we are still in this container div. We're not going out of the container div. So always make sure you've got this last WebStorm all the way. WebStorm all the way. So please make sure this last div, you always inside of it. So you can just maybe give it some space so you can make sure you're not going out of it. Yes, I use PyCharm as well. And let me tell you, I used to be VS Code person until someone from church introduced me to WebStorm, PyCharm, and all of those. As soon as I used them, I just knew there's no way I was going back. So cool. So the next part we'll have is a section where you can actually add your transactions. So it's to add to say, I got an income of this much, then this is how much my expense was, whatnot, and then it will start tracking. Obviously, we're not integrating it with any like AI, whatever. So right now it's just doing. So you never use front end frameworks. I do. I have a website built in Django in React Next.js, so I do that. Okay, so right now we'll do an add transaction. No, it was us too. So yeah, it has a few. It has a few. It's just people don't want to come help us. Okay, cool. Let's do a div. Okay, this div will be for our. If you understand the code that they're giving you, then sure, You can vibe code and do that, but as long as you understand the code that they give you, because yeah, you I think you really need to understand. Yes, there's this vibe coding where people just know nothing, they just write prompts and boom. But I think it's best because sometimes the AIs don't do the correct things or they make mistakes. So if you know what you're doing, you're able to actually pick those up and fix them yourself, or let it know that it made a mistake here, then it just fixes it for you, whatever. So I say it's best to vibe code knowing what you're doing. Okay, cool. So this will have our form basically because it's a form for someone to add a transaction, right? So we'll have this as form section. Okay. Then here we'll add an H3 of add transaction. So a person knows that they must add transactions here, right? Then let's now add another div. And then this div will be our row for our form. Okay. So we'll do a class. YouTube still good. We'll do a class with the form row. Okay, form row. And then, okay, I hope I'm not going fast. Guys must let me know if I'm going fast. And then here we'll start with the first input. So this will be a type of text. Okay, and then we want an ID. What will this input do? So this will be an input for our description. Okay. Then we can add a placeholder to let the person know they must add the description. Right? Cool. Then we add another one, another input. This will be a type of number, and this number obviously will be the amount. So ID equals amount, and placeholder amount. Cool. Then we want to have a way for the person who's entering the transaction to tell us whether they're adding an income or an expense. So are they getting money or is money going out of their account, right? So what we'll do here, we learned about it in the JavaScript stuff just now. We have a select widget, right? Or select, look, I'm calling it widget, a select element. So this will obviously just be the transaction type. So you can have it as type. Then in this select we want to have different options. Obviously, it will be two options. So add the first option with the value of this will be your income. Okay. Oh, yes, another one. DJ Khaled. DJ Khaled. We will know once they tell us. Felly Fells, Sis Fells, how are you? We will know once they tell us. What will we submit after the 18th? Is it July? Does it end in July? Yo, I'm not sure, but I think they'll let us know. They'll let us know. Remember, I'm just helping out. Even me, I'm not in the academy. Thank you so much for the heart me. Okay, we'll have another option. Ish, where's YouTube now? Okay, cool. We have another option with the value. Thank you so much for the heart me, sis fells. Expense. Avengers app, you skipped. I never done it actually because I did something different but with the same concept of the Avengers app. So I did it different because we couldn't find the pictures. So I went totally different direction, but it's the same concept. Okay, so what we did here. Oh, askis. I will explain to you. Cool. So, what we did here, right? We have a I think it's best you should, because you need to start understand. Um, unless you did you do the Pine City Zoo app? If you did that one, then not necessarily, especially if you understood the Pine City one, then there's not necessarily a need for you to go back. But if okay, then yeah, if you did it, you should be fine. Unless you feel like you wanna do it. But if you did Pine City, you should have the same concepts in down basically. Cool. So what I was explaining here, we have an add transaction. So we first done the summary. So we'll have a summary of our expenses, income, and balance, right? So then we have an add transactions section. So this allows the person to add a description of what the expense or income is. Maybe they'll say salary, then they say the amount, then they say it's an income, and they submit, right? Then we also want them to maybe say, oh, I've got MTN contract. Then they say it's 2000 rand. They put it on there. Then they say it's an expense, and then they submit. So all of that now gets stored in the entire tracker, right? So we done the form for them to actually enter the information, right? Um, Tabo. Okay, let's continue. Sorry, guys. Okay, so obviously I said this is where the person would be entering the details, but they obviously need to still submit. So after this div, not after this one, after the form row div, right? You need to now click enter, then we add a button. Okay, then this button will have an on click, so that when a person clicks this, we need to do something. So we've already been learning about this in JavaScript. So here we want that on click. Okay, cool. Will I see? Will I see? Okay, we have an on click, right? And this on click, we want to have a function that we will call. So this function that we'll call will be doing the adding of transactions. So if you think about it logically, you want the function to add a transaction. So the name of the function should be add transaction. So you say add transaction. Okay. And then you can give the button a name. Add transaction. Cool. So that's it for the add transaction stuff. All right. Now that we're done with that, are there any questions so far? Are we still together? We're still good. We understand what we did. I haven't lost anyone. What's up? What's up? Tori short or Toriso. What's up? Guys, are we still good? Then we can move on to the next part. Yes, I'm with you. Okay, no problem. Okay, no answer means I should continue, I guess. Okay, cool. So after that, we just want to have another section right here. We'll call this our transaction list. So we'll have a list of our transactions. Transaction list, okay? So this can just be a div, okay? And then in this div, you'll have an h3. This h3 will be called recent transactions. So what we're learning here basically is still similar to what you'd be doing if you'd be getting API requests, responses, you know. So here we'll just have everything local, but then we'll obviously get to that later, just not now. Okay, then we'll add a div, right, for the transaction list itself. So we'll call this transaction list, okay, a transactions list. And then we'll have, if there's no transactions, we can add a paragraph here to say no transactions yet add one above. So this is just a fallback, so you don't have an empty screen and someone can see that there's something there. So you just have this to say there's no transactions yet. You can add one above. So that just lets the user know that just above here they can actually add a transaction. Are we still together? My add is add what? It means you either forgot something or just check your, I don't know, check how you wrote. Yeah, maybe you didn't add an equals or something. You see, when I don't add an equals, it becomes red. But yeah, you're definitely missing some code. Just check it properly. Cool. Let's now see how this looks so far. Open with live server. Okay, so this is what we have so far. We've got our budget tracker with income, expense, balance, and then adding a transaction, our items, and then this is where our transactions will go. Okay, so let's just style it a bit, or we can commit first actually. Can commit and then style it. So we'll just say HTML structure done. Then can just commit and push. Okay, that's done. Cool. So now let's style this a bit and then we'll get to our JavaScript. So we're done there. Let's go to our style.css now. I hope we're still together. So we'll first style our container. So our container will have a background of white and then some padding. Padding inside will be 30 pixels, and then we'll give it a border radius so it has those curves, 15 pixels. Okay, then we'll give it a box shadow. Box shadow will be no horizontal. We move it vertically 10 pixels, and then we'll have a 30 pixels radius, and then the color RGBA, which will include transparency 0, 0, 0, 0.2. So it's just that. Okay, that's our container. So we can just see that's what it's done so far. That's all it's done. Added curves and then put a shadow. So at least you see it gives it a bit of style. So we added a background, some padding inside, border radius, and a box shadow. That's all. Okay, so we're still together. I hope we are. So let's move on and just do H1 quickly. So H1, we just want to start align it to the center, and then we'll give it a color. Let's use this color because we're on white anyway. So it's this one from here, F4CAF50. So use that same color, then margin bottom, give it 30 pixels. So we're just centering it, giving it a color of this green, like our background, and then we just adding some margin at the bottom so whatever's below does not come near it. So if we see, that's how it looks right now. Okay, together. I hope we are. Cool. Then we move on to the summary. So let's do the summary. So dot summary. Okay. So our summary will display grid. So we want it to be one after the other. So we'll give it a grid display, and then grid template columns, one fraction each, one fraction, one fraction, one fraction, and the gap between them will be 15 pixels. And then a margin bottom of 30 pixels. Are we together? I have not left anyone. Are we still together? So that's what it's done now, to put it in a grid, and now they are one after the other. Okay, grid, and now they one after the other. One, one, one. Just give it like 10 seconds if people are still copying. Cool, let's continue. Uh, I'm just trying to get it as simple as possible. So that's why I just did it just like this. So it's just as simple so we can get it done quickly. I was aiming for 10:30. That's why. Then we can draw a card. So that's our cards in there. Give it a background. This will be uh this F8 one. What, yeah, was it like a light white? Or was it F9? F8 also worked actually. Okay. Cool. Give it some padding inside. Yes, Chippa, how are you? Give it some padding inside, and then obviously we want the cards to have a border radius. So we'll give it a border radius of 10 pixels, and then we want all the text within it to align to the center. So we just done a background, padding, border radius, and text aligned to center. So that's how it looks. So see, that color is like a darker white, so it just looks like that. You could play around with colors that you want, but this is what we have so far. Okay. Somebody followed the live creator. Wow. Cool. Let's move on. Let's just change our h3 of our cards. So dot card h3. Uh, so we'll change the margin. It's what, top, bottom, left, right. 0, 0, 10 pixels, 0. Yeah. Okay. 0, 0, 10 pixels, 0. They are on YouTube only for now. So I'm trying to cut like shorts that I can post on TikTok as well. But they're all fully on YouTube. Ah, thank you so much. All the way from Cape Town. Thank you. Okay, let's give these a what's your name on YouTube? It's Simphiwe Radebe underscore. So it's at Simphiwe underscore underscore. Cool. And then a color. We want yeah. I should have ish. I just need to design it and put it on. That's the thing. But I'll try and finish it today. Today. Cool. So this is what we have so far. If you want it simplified, can do 18 pixels as well. Cool. That was our H3. Now let's work on the amounts. So we've got that amount. So if it's amount, we'll do a font size. 6, 12, 18, 24. It's 24 pixels. And then we'll make these bold. Grid is basically like a grid. Think about a grid. So what we did here, we gave it a template to say we want 3, right? So you see, if we done 2, it was going to do a grid of 2 columns. So here we gave it a template of 3 columns or 1 fraction each, right? So that's how it looks with 3. So it's like a grid. So what the grid does, it makes it a grid. Um, where's my mouse now? My mouse has vanished. Give me a second. Oh, there we go. Yeah. How, Tando, how, 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 DJ classes, siyabonga, like what? Like what? Like what? Thank you so much, Tando. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Yo, I when I was a level up to like 20 something soon. Like 25, like very soon. Yeah, I almost gave my. Thank you so much, Tando. Yeah, you can email there. I can't paste it on TikTok. You can email that email address, and then I'll be able to assist you with it. Yes. Email. I know you're gonna fly in very soon. I am flying in like now. now. Thank you, Mass Fitness. Thank you so much, Mass Fitness, for the roses. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. Okay, so this is what we've done so far, right? Now let's work. We've done our mount. Ah, thank you for the hand hearts. Thank you for the hearts. Yo, thank you, Tando. Level 18. Wow, I didn't get it. I didn't get it. I didn't get it. Ish, I didn't get it. Damn. But W level up. W level up. Are you gonna fly in house already? Damn. Hmm. That is so crazy. Thank you so much, Tando. Thank you so much. Okay, cool. Let's change the color of our. So remember we did. I'll let you prior. Okay, perfect. Hey, I got you on 17. I just didn't post it yet, but I got you on 17. I caught that one. So yo, you getting there like now. Thank you so much for the support. Okay, so remember here we did dot. Where's YouTube? Is YouTube fine? Yes, okay. Thank you so much, Chipa. Yari, the views just went. That's crazy. Okay, we did these, so we have a separate class name for each of these, like balance, expense, and income. So the reason for that is so we can do some color to those without having to do the same thing that we'd have in amount for all of them, right? So let's do our income. This will have a color of the green that we have already. Maybe we can do 50. Cool. So we've got that. Then we'll do the expense. Color. Expense can be like a red, right? And then you've got balance. BQ. Thank you, thank you. Okay. So the next thing is our balance color. So our balance color will be 21, 3, 9, 3. It's like a blue. And then the balance. So if the number is negative, how do we want our balance to look? We'll do F44336 like we have at the top. Look, I didn't add color. Color. There we go. Cool. So these are the colors for our different summary, right? So that's how it looks for now. Cool. Uh, what is 1.8 TM again? Okay, doesn't matter. Let's do the form now. Form section, give it a background. F8, the FA1, and then some padding, 20 px, then a border radius, 10 pixels, and a margin bottom, 30 pixels. Okay, understood, thanks, perfect. Form section, background, without padding, border radius, and margin bottom. So this is what we'll have so far. So that's our outline there. You can see that there's something there. Cool. So let's style it a bit further. Maybe we should have left styling till the end. You'd be able to see it, but it's not gonna work. Like it won't remember because we're just doing it locally. Form row. You'd have to deploy it to Netlify, but it's not gonna remember anything. So again, here we'll do a grid display. And then here we'll have our template. One, four. And then we have a gap with 10 pixels. Margin bottom. Margin bottom of 15 pixels. So let me show you. See this 2FR? It's basically saying take twice the room or twice the fraction that we've got of 111, right? Joseph, 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 Joseph. We'll try using Bootstrap, don't worry. We shall try. I have never used it, we'll try. Okay, guys, cool. Let's continue. So as I was saying, this is just like the template to say this should take up two fractions of the entire space. So out of three, you are splitting the fraction to say this can take two, the rest must take one. The rest must take one. Then you just want your gap to be 10 pixels and your margin bottom to be 15 pixels. Yeah, ne. Cool. Let's see how it looked. So this is how it looks, right? So you see how description is taking up more. It's just to allow the person to type more. Now let's style the actual stuff there. Aish. Aish, yeah, ne. Kanjani, how? Kanjani. Ay. Uh-uh. Cool, guys. Let's continue. Input. Let's do our input, our select, and our button, right? And then these will just give them a padding of 10 pixels. They will have some border of 1 pixels. We'll make it a solid border, and yo, solid border, and the color will be just like whitish. Then give them a border radius as well. Guys, I have about images. I'm on week 3. What's the problem with the images? I'll help you with that. What's the problem with the images? There's my email down there. If you can see it, try and send an email with the code and where the issue is. Then we can do it with you. Okay, yes. We're doing our border radius and font size. Okay, perfect. Then let's now do the button further. We'll give it a background. This one. This is like our primary color, and then this will make it white. And then we'll give the what's this, the button a border, 1 pixels, solid of course. So solid line and foresee. And when a person goes on this button, we want them to see a pointer on their cursor. Font weight, we want this to be bold. That's what we have so far. Let's see. Routes, that's what we have so far. Cool. So that's what we've done. Let's continue. Let's do some changes on our button when someone hovers over it. Okay, so when someone hovers, we'll just give it a background of 45. Hey, wait, hashtag 45A049. So this should be the darker part of the green. I'm not checking YouTube. Okay, this is darker part of green. Cool. So that's just on hover. So when we hover, it just looks like, something's happening. So that's what it does. All right, now we do the next part. Oh, we didn't. Oh, we'll add that as well. Okay, let's do a delete button to allow a person to delete. So obviously with a red color, and then border 1 pixels solid. Okay, then you can add padding, 5 pixels horizontal, 10 vertical, or vice versa. Hey, that thing always gets me. Font size, we've got what's this? 612, 18 pixels. 612, 612, 18, 24, 18. Are we together? Are we together? I'll put together. Let's move on to the so we'll have yebo, perfect. So we'll have a transaction, right? So when a person puts in, we'll add a transaction to the JavaScript code, right? So want this to be a display flex. Okay. We want to justify content to space in between. Okay, YouTube is very quiet. Then align items to the center, and then some padding. Want some 15 pixels. Margin will be 10 pixels 0. And then you've got a background of f8. My eyes are not so, yeah. Then a border radius 8 pixels, and then just have a border on the left 4 pixels solid. My eyes, yo, can feel them are just like the one to. Then we'll have the transaction dot income item. So when it's an income item, we're just gonna change the color of the border left color. Border left color will be 4C, which is our green. Then we want a dot transaction dot expense item. And then our border left color will be the red, which is F8, F44. Cool. So those are our transaction items. So if it's income, we'll show that on the border left. And if it's expense, we'll show a different color on the border left. That's why we did this. So you'll see it when we add the JavaScript. And then we'll have info of the transaction. So transaction dash info. And for this, we'll just flex grow it 1. Then we'll do a transaction amount. So how much the transaction was. Font weight will be bold. And then our margin of beginner only. You can watch my other videos on my channel, or you can watch videos on YouTube. There's a lot of like Free Code Camp, Udemy, Solo Learn. Those really help in learning. Like HTML is actually quite easy, so you can watch it on YouTube and finish and understand. Margin on the right, we want it to be 10 pixels, and then that's all there. Then we just want to also change for the empty message. For the empty message, we want to do a text align it to the center. Then the color of the text should be like this gray. Then some padding, 40 pixels padding. And then we'll just have a media query. This is based on screen size of what we said. So we said max width of what was it, 800, né? Yeah, 800 pixels. 800 pixels. Then for this, we'll have dot summary to be for the grid template rows. Thanks for that. CSS, HTML for beginner. Both of them. Start with HTML, then go to CSS and do some JavaScript. Then do some JavaScript. And then dot form grid templates on frame. And that's it. That is it. That's our style, right? Now the beast of it. Are there any questions? Now the beast. Now the beast. So let's start. First thing we want to do here is we want to hold on a bit. Let's actually commit first. Style changes. Let's see how that looked firstly. Let me show you guys. Sorry. So this is what we have so far. Okay. No transactions. How do you master JS? Udemy, and doing it a lot. But I stopped JS for quite a while. I stopped JS for a while because I was now focused on Android. So it's just now remembering stuff. Hence, you see, as you guys ask certain things, I like try to remember or I forget other things, but it just comes back to you. But I don't think I've mastered it yet. I don't use JS on a daily. I need this one. Okay, now let's continue. Let's do our JS now. So the first thing we want to do is when I just have a variable or a list of where our transactions will be, right? So we'll be storing our transactions in an array. So to do that, we'll do let. So we're not doing var because now we're doing the proper stuff. Before people come in my comments and shout at me again as to why are you using var? So old. So let's use let. This is the same as var. Just think of var, but you use let now, okay? So we have having an empty array. This is an array, meaning a list. It's an empty list because for now we've got no transactions, right? Then let's also have what's this, an ID. So we'll start with 1. Okay, so we just have these variables that will change. We're using let because they will change. We're not using const because it's not a constant variable. We know it's going to change, right? So let's create our first function. Our first function name was add transaction. Okay, so let's now create add transaction. Add transaction, and we don't need anything. So let's first get the values from our form, right? So maybe so you guys can see what's what. Get values from our form. Cool. So we'll do a const because it's not gonna change. We'll start with the description. Description. Oh, what happened to English? So the reason it yes, I use Kotlin every day. It's Kotlin. Then Python is number two. Where was I? Yes, so we're now trying to get these. So we have an ID of description, amount, and type, right? So we want to get the value of these three things. That's what we're doing here. So the first thing we'll do our document dot get element by ID, and this is our description part, right? And we want just the value. I win. Just the value, right? So that was description. Then we want a const of our amount, which is document. It's quite fun. I was doing these when I was learning. Then I created my school's website, and then I started doing games. I started creating games, and then after games, I started doing apps. So it was quite fun. I think I enjoyed it a lot. That's what made me continue pushing. I enjoyed it quite a lot. Cool. The last one is our type. Okay, so we've got the values from this form. Basically, whatever the user has entered in here, we now have these values stored in these different variables, okay? And we use const, right? Because this location doesn't change. Yes, the value will change, but and we're not gonna change the value itself. So yes, the value doesn't change, but it does change. I don't know if that makes sense. The value will change based on what the user enters, but we not changing the value ourselves. Like in the code itself, we're not gonna say description is now equal to something else. Okay, so let's first check if a person has actually entered a description. Okay, then if they haven't, let's add an alert. So what this does, right? This means not. So if you had it like this, what it's checking is this null or is it not null? Meaning there's something in it. Meaning if it's not null, this will make it opposite, making it true. I mean making it false because it's not now, it becomes now. If it's not now, yo, the way, how do I explain this thing the best? But think of it like saying, um, description is not equal to now. I mean, is equal to now. So I'm just checking that if it's now, then do this alert to tell a person that they need to please enter a description. That's basically what that did. Instead of having to write equals now, you're just saying if it was true, make it false. If it was false, make it true. Hope that makes sense. But maybe to make it easier, let's just say if it's equal to now so that you guys understand it a bit better. Ah, we have to be. There's no other way. There's no other way. There's no other way. Okay, then let's check if a person has entered a valid amount. So the first thing we'll check if the amount is actually there, right? Or if the amount is less or equal to 0 because they need to enter something. So if the amount is not there, then it will come here, which means it will be true. And then if the amount is less or equal to 0, this means less or equal. So you could have a just less, but if it's equal to 0, then it would still pass. So we're gonna check if it's less or equal to 0. So if it's negative, whatever, we want a valid amount. So then you can return. Oh, we didn't even return here. So we're returning to say we're done. Return. Okay. Meaning this specific function will stop right here. It's not gonna continue further. If this is now, it's gonna stop here. It's not gonna continue further. Cool. So let's add another alert here. Here we're telling the user, please enter. I tried scanning the QR code. Okay, I'll. Yes, it flips the value. It flips the value. What am I saying? Please enter a valid amount. Okay. So this is just our validation checks. You can maybe add it like this. Validation checks. So we're done that. So those two are done. Just make sure you return. Then you're done, right? Then now let's create a transaction object. Right? So this is what we would be expecting from a transaction. We'd first want an ID. Okay. And in this ID, we already set ID at the top there, this const. So whenever something happens, it will just increment it, meaning after 1 it will change to 2, and then this will become 2. So if now it's a new one, it will change to 3. If it's a new one, it will change to 4. So just keep incrementing. Then we want a description, right? So description and then amount colon amount, and then your type. Cool. That's our transaction object. Okay, so you can try and remember transaction object. Cool. Now we have to add this transaction that just got created into the list at the top there. So what we do to add it there, we just do transaction, which is up here. So we say transactions, which is the list. Thank you so much, Sandy. Thank you so much, Sandy. Cool, we've got transactions, and then we do dot push, meaning we're adding to this array here. So we're adding whatever we have into there, but we need to pass in the transaction. So this object we just created is what we pass in. So we add transaction in there. Then we now basically pass in our transaction. So when a transaction is created, here's the values. These values get put in here. Bam, bam, bam. Then we add this up into this list. Then it will keep doing again and again, adding to the list. So understand what happens there. Basically, we're saying we get from the form, and then we put it into a transaction object, and we take that transaction object and put it into the list we have, so that when we now using that list to show, we've got an object that we can use to say transactions dot description to show description, whatever, etc. Cool. So this is adding to list at the top. It's called transactions. Cool. Then now what we want to do is since the user's done, let's clear the form for them. So clear form. So to clear the form, we can just get the document dot get element by ID, and we want the description, the description one, dot the value, we equal it to an empty string, equal to an empty string. Then we do the same here, document got get element by ID, and we'll do for the amount, okay, dot value equals to an empty string. Perfect. Then here we'll have an update display, meaning the summary screen. So we just want to update from what happened. But for this to happen, we're going to need to first update the summary, and then also update the transactions on the. So this is just you now thinking of what you need to write, like what code you need to write to make this work. So you know when a person when you add a transaction, all of this happens, and then at the end you need to update your front end. So to update, you need to now update the summary or the new details as well as update the transaction. So you need to add a new transaction. So let's first create those functions that we're going to need to use, right? So the first one we'll create is a function called update summary. Summary, no parameters. So we'll add this here, update summary. So we'll just call update summary there. Cool. And then we'll have a local variable in here for income. Income will be 0, and then we'll have one for expense, 0 expenses. Okay. So now we want to loop through our list of okay, no problem. Transactions. So this is now a for loop. Oh, here comes the issues. Here comes the issues. I less than transactions dot length. No problem, no problem. Out for you. We're all good. Yo, here comes this stuff. So here you're creating a variable, right? Your iterator. So creating an iterator, setting it to 0. So you first check your iterator, which would be 0, is less than the length of the transactions list, right? Then it now iterates plus, it like goes +1, then it will run the code inside the for loop. It will go until you have reached the end of your list. So it's just looping through the entire list. We'll try and go through more of loops. We're trying to get like a way we can teach the loops a bit more. I just don't know if they're gonna do that next week on the App Academy side, but I'll also do that on my side where I'll try and do a loops and data, like your data types and things like those are basics, you know, integers, booleans, floats, etc. So this is just a loop. Um, we'll try and recap that as well. So what we're doing here, we're checking the watch this, the index of, so if this is now on index 0, it will replace this as, no, it's not the same, it's not the same at all. So if we had 0, it will set this to 0. So index 0 means it's the first list or the first item in the list. That's what index 0 is. So we want to check if that transaction is equal to income. So the transaction type, if it's an income transaction, and if it is, we do income plus equals transactions dot the index dot amount. Else it's an expense, obviously. The reason we use triple equals is because we wanna get the actual type, like the actual must be income, nothing else. It has to be income. So we're using a triple for an actual comparison check. Then this is expenses is plus equal to transactions, that amount. My JS is looking very weird. Okay, so now what we can do is we want to get our balance, right? So balance, then here to do that we'll create a variable, right? So since our balance, we're not going to change it, so we do const balance, not capital B. Const balance is equal to our income minus our expense. So that's our balance. Then we want to update the display. So to update the display, we're now using to our document to get the elements, and then we update those elements. So the first one would be the total income dot text content. So the text in there must be R plus our income. So we're just adding an R. Then document dot get element by ID total expense total expenses. What do you write it as expense? Why is it total expense, not expenses, but it's expenses? Okay, just make sure you've got it the same. If you've got expenses here, your HTML must be expenses as well. If it's expense, your JavaScript must be expense as well, else it's not going to work. Then dot text content is equal to obviously our R symbol plus expenses. Cool. So that updates our display with the new information. Okay. And then this is our balance element. For our balance element, we'll get it by document.get element by ID. And what we're trying to get is balance. So we named it balance. So we're just getting the balance element right there. Okay. Then the content of balance would be balance element dot text content, which is equal to our R plus our balance that we calculated up here. So we'll be showing our balance right there. Okay. Then, oh, my eyes sham. Let's do an if statement to check if our balance is less than 0. Then we need to show a negative balance. So to do that, we can just do our balance element dot class name. So remember what we did in our CSS? We created some CSS for our, what was it? Balance. There, you see this negative. So we created this. So here in JavaScript, we will add the class name using JavaScript. So we just say balance element, which is this balance dot the class name we're now adding is going to be amount. Welcome back, Bernice. And then we add balance, and then we also add negative. Make sure it's in quotes. Make sure it's in quotes. So it's amount, balance, and negative. So this will now be the class name or class names in balance itself. So CSS will do the right things. Okay. Then if obviously it's greater than 0, which is the else part, we wanted to show just balance. So we can do balance element dot class name is equal to amount and balance. not negative. So this will now do the correct style. Askis, Askis, strike tips. Ayo, what's up? Thank you for the follow. Cool. So that's done with our update summary. Now we need to update the transactions on the recents, right? It's fast to do that. We need another function. Let's close that. We need another function called, why didn't you create the thing for me? Function, yes. So this one will be called update, or rather show transactions. Okay, we don't need any parameters. So then we can just come up here and change this to, we can add show transactions, calling that as well. Cool. Now let's write the code to show our transactions. So to show our transactions, we first need to get that element, which is our transactions element. So that was this right here, transactions list. So here's the, yeah, someone had asked for it on the YouTube, so we're just doing that. Okay, so the show transactions will first get our container, const container, and then we do the document dot get element by ID, and this is transactions. Thank you so much, Strike. Thank you so much. Transactions list. Cool. So that's our container element. Now we have it, right? Yes, for the this is Next.js, I use, do I use TypeScript? Hardly, but yes, I can use it. Hardly though. So here we want to check if we have no transactions. If we have no transactions, this is what we'll do here. So if transactions.length, so it's gonna check the list that we have up there. If the length is equal to 0, obviously, then it means we've got no transactions. So if it's equal to 0, then it means we have no transactions. So we'll do, yeah, a lot of people actually love TypeScript. I do know a lot of people love TypeScript. So this is our container.inner HTML. So in our inner HTML, we want to just add a quick div, right? So we'll just add a div with the class of empty message. Okay, and then we'll have, let's do it in one line, space, we'll have a paragraph. This will say no transactions yet, add one above. So you can see, right, add one above, then we close with the, oh, inside there with the p, and we close the div as well. So what we're doing here, we're just adding this in the inner HTML if there's no transactions. Apparently, yes, apparently. But I still use JSX on my React sites. Yeah, maybe you can put it like this so you can see. Cool. So this is if we get no transactions, and if we don't get any transactions, we can just return. And then that's it on this specific if statement. Right now we wanna build our HTML for all our transactions. So we just want to build our HTML, right? So let's have a variable of HTML firstly. We'll have it as 0, as nothing. And then this for loop, right? There you go. They not explained it. So it's your index. Then it checks your index less than array.length. Yes, I do here and there. if I have to, but not all the time. Change this to I, I. Then our array is transactions. Oh, we're doing it like that. Okay, wait, let's go back. Let's do for. We'll let I equal our transactions. Dot. Oh no, but thank you so much for the follow. Thank you so much for the follow. And then I is greater than equals to 0. So what this does, it will show our newest transactions first. It shows our newest transactions first. Thank you so much. This will basically show the list of our transactions, but the new ones will come first. So whatever was added last on the list will come first instead of having the oldest, which is whatever's added first coming on the list. Okay. So let's add another variable. We'll just say T for transaction. And then we can do our transactions and we'll use our index, right? So obviously it's looping, right? So the first transaction will be whatever the index is here. 100% Benny's 100%. That's so tool. Uh so now we're just assigning to this variable we created here. We want to add an HTML block. Okay. So we use our backticks, remember? Thank you so much, Strike. I'll start by because your AI is saying everything. No problem. Thank you so much, Strike. I appreciate you. So the way you come up with this, you need to, like I said, remember at the top here, as we first done our add transactions, we now were thinking that okay, after you clear the form, you need to now update the screen. So okay, what do I need to update the screen? I need a function that will update the summary, and I need a function that will show my transactions. So now you basically think about your process first, then you start writing the functions to it. Then obviously when you're now updating your summary, you need to see explaining and building as if yes. So you use, let's say I've got update summary now. So update summary, I know that okay, for me to update this summary, which is here, I've got these two values, income and expenses. So here I've set them to 0 because there's no income and expense yet. Then obviously I know I'll have a list of transactions. So it's all about thinking about your process. So hence, as you're writing your code here, you start thinking about what needs what and how will you solve getting all of those values. I don't know if that makes sense. So here, you see we want to have our transaction. So you see how here we didn't add any code for the transactions. So we want the JavaScript for each transaction to add a transaction item there. That's what we're doing now here. We want to build that. Got you? Oh, God, did you get me? I hope you got me. Transaction, and then this will be our type. So this is from our T. Our T basically has that object of transactions, and we just want to get the type, right? So the type would be expense or income or balance, and we want to get the type and put item, right? So that's the same as what we did right here. So it's transaction dot the type and item, right? That's what this is gonna do for us. Cool. building projects and like searching online like how they do certain projects, and you'd start seeing what the flow is and what people think about first. Then you basically start building that foundation, be like, okay, maybe I need, this is how I should be looking at a problem, you know. That's it. You just need to start doing a lot of practice. I was, my first app, I was following a tutorial to get it out. I followed a tutorial to get to learn exactly what I did for that first app. And that tutorial was literally took me from start to finish. Then you start playing around like, oh, okay, no, you do this, do that, you know. It's just about your problem solving. Okay, so now we have our transaction info. In our transaction info, we want to have some text for the description, right? So I want to show some text for the description. So we don't write the code, or the actual description, we'll get it from this object of t. So we can just do t dot description, right? T dot description, and then you close your strong. Then you just have another one for your type. So this will just be a small element. Again, you can get the type from the transaction object type. Cool. Then you close your div. Alright. And then for transaction info, you've got your transaction amount. And then transaction amount will come with its type. So what type are we showing there? So it's t dot type. So transaction dot type. Close that. Which lesson you guys put? We're done with all the lessons, so now we're just doing a budget tracker to put the skills to the test. If it's equal to that, we want to show a plus, and then if it's not, we want to show a minus. So this is checking that if the type is equal to income, we must show a plus, but if it's not, then show a minus. Rainfall in Durban. Sorry, man. And then we'll show our R, which is our currency, and then the amount. So this will just be in our transaction amount. So it will show a plus, then the currency, and then the amount there. So it's so that we're not actually adding this ourselves, but the code will add it. Then that button we wanted to create. Thank you so much. This will be that button to delete a transaction. Okay, so we gave it delete btn. Thank you so much, Lynn. Appreciate you. Ish, no, just try and watch the recaps. Like, I think they'll really help, because yeah, once you miss out on something, it could like take you back a bit, and you don't want to be left out. Okay, so we almost done, I hope, because we're doing our transactions, and we want to do the deleting. Delete our transaction. This will require an ID. So we'll have this specific function. So obviously now you're thinking that, okay, I've got a transaction type and I have a button, but I want someone to be able to delete it. And what would that delete need? What's unique when it comes to transaction? What's unique is the ID. So you can say, okay, I'll pass in the ID from the transaction so that when we delete it, we only delete that specific transaction. Ompile, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ompile. Cool. And then this will be, the button name will be delete. Guys, here you must be careful with how you write because this is within JS, so there's no code formatting for HTML. So you need to be quite careful with how you write the code, else you could have issues. Hence, you need to know how. Thank you so much, Ompile. Thank you so much. You need to know your syntax, like how you structure the code. Okay. Now, once we're done with that, we have our HTML. Then we want our container, the inner HTML of that container, to have this specific HTML we just created. Cool. That is this. Now we need to create this delete transaction function. Function. This needs to be delete transaction. And then this requires an ID because we said we want an ID there. So now we need to find the specific transaction using the ID. So let's find the specific transaction using ID and loop it. So we'll use a for loop. Okay, then we'll do our, oh, I think I get it this way. Basic unit elements in JS, and then you're going to append 100%. Yes. So the elements are in JS, and then JS will append them into the HTML document. That's spot on. Spot on. So that's our our index, right? Then we want to check via the length of our list, and then increment. Cool. Then we're checking if our transactions, whatever the index we are on, dot id is equal to the id that was passed from the parameters, right? If that is true, then we want to do a transactions dot splice. So now we just want to remove whatever's in that array, only that specific item. So we deleting that index number and only one. So that's the only one we're deleting. So we're removing it from the array, and then we end the the program, right? But obviously, once that's done, our UI is not updated, so we need to now update the display again. So we call that same function we created at the top, which is update summary, and then we do a show transactions again so that it can freshen up the list. Cool. And then we just want to have, when this starts, the first thing, just want to just run this update and the show. So this basically just initializes the entire application. So even if there's none, this will be run as soon as JS is done or is actually implemented. So let us just try and see what we have so far. Let's refresh. Okay, let's see. Let's say I earn 500 Rand. It's an income. So there, see, add transaction didn't work. Now we have to see why. Let's see. This is now so slow. Add transaction. So we do console dot log. Now comes the debugging part. Um, add transactions function. Okay. Inspect. The what? Oh. Add transaction is not defined. Okay, you see? So now that's what the console is for. Add transaction is not defined. HTML, line number 42. HTML, line number 42. There we go. So I can already see what the problem is. The reason it's not working, add transaction is not found because we didn't link our script. So we need to link our script. So that's what program is also about. You need to be able to debug. Script source script.js. So just add it above the body. Just want to fix my formatting here. Cool. That's it. So because we forgot that, now nothing was working. So let's now refresh. Try it again. Refresh. Inactivity. It's like saying I'm inactive, bro. But you'll see the importance of debugging as well. So this just helped us by seeing that, oh, it's an uncoded reference. Something is wrong. I don't understand why it's not running. Oh, it's still running. Yes, I saw that. Thank you, who knew infinity. There we go. Oh, so we went to negative. There's something wrong with our code. Food. Why did I press delete? Income. Look at that. Just look at these bugs. 2, 3. Our additions are not working properly. So this works, but it's showing as a negative even though it's an income. Let's see why. Let's console.log. Yes, blue. Blue. This is, let's see, transaction object. Let's see what we have. Hey, it's like we're adding strings. Uh, it's like, what's this? It's not recognizing. That's correct. Cool. So let's now see the type as well. I want to make sure it shows as a income and not a expense. Oh, thing is behind most. Income, which is correct. So we're good here. How? So we're good there. Clearing the form happens. So update summary. Now let's check it here. After all this, let's see. No, so we changed that. So um the manipulation will change it. Uh in update. Mm, Bongani, you're onto something. Bongani, you're onto something. Bongani is onto something. Yes, I think you could be right. It's supposed to add, but we're supposed to have a balance at first. Then it's supposed to um minus, because income minus expenses. Balance is income minus expenses. Mm, so I've got, because here what it's doing, it's automatic making balance income minus expenses. But what's this? This shouldn't be a problem, because if we have a positive balance of 25,000 minus 0 should not make it negative. Do you get me? It shouldn't make it negative, because this is would be 25,000. This would be negative, like nothing, because there's no expenses. Then it should be as is. So the problem is somewhere where I'm changing. Let me see the balance here. Let's see the balance here. If we can see what the balance is here, that will tell us. Don't need you. They'll get me. Bongani and add. It's already negative. Cool. What is this? This is income. Okay. Valid, 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 valid. I want to just see something. There's our issue. Do you see here? Line number 65, line number 65. This, so income is 0. Means my issue might be somewhere here. Yeah, my issue is somewhere here. This is where my issue could be. Do you see? So I'm still saying it's not necessarily this, because your income minus expense is correct. It's somewhere here, I think, in this loop that we having the issue. See this? Expenses 0. But where is now line number? Oh yeah, so it's not seeing it as this. Oh, it's busy. It defaulting to else. It's defaulting to else. So our problem is here. It's just defaulting to else. It's defaulting to else because it's making it an expense even though it's an income. This is not even being run. And it's an income that's coming in. So it's defaulting it to else, meaning transactions dot type yeah, transactions dot type triple equals income. And what do I have it as at the top? Wait, there's the problem, guys. Code, it should be a capital I. It should be a capital I. But wait, let's see if I'm right. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. How is our CSS now? Okay. See why I say you need to know your stuff. Okay, this is still wrong, but there we go. You see, now we somewhere. Now we are somewhere. Because now if that's positive, then it means down there, there's somewhere where we're looking at the wrong class name. There, capital I. Okay. Crazy, crazy, crazy stuff. But we always have to fix that thing now. Sorry. 25,000 at. Cool. That's fine. Whatever that NAN, wherever that NAN came from. But now it's doing the right things. Let's see if we add food. We bought food for 2,400. It's an expense. There we go. So you'll see. Yo, but my eyes, damn. So hence I say you need to know what you're doing, because if you don't, then what is the point? What's the point? Okay, so somewhere I'm not showing the right. No, it doesn't depend on the description. It depends on this the this value here. So if you say it's an expense or income, that's what it depends on. But I think, yeah, we don't need a description, you see, so it still works without a description. It's just it doesn't show up well. Maybe we added this much, but also this numbers is not adding correctly. Oh, imagine such a bank balance. Cool. So the balance is not doing the right stuff. So balance is adding. That part is fine. This part works. So when we call this, it's because we have them here. So I think it's just adding. So if we had it empty or with nothing, it's another thing. TikTok versus YouTube is way behind. See again. Oh, I have to type it. Still has that zero. There's no zero here anymore. Where does the zero come from? Income. Amount. Ewan. Like, no wonder the thing wasn't even styling correctly. No, no, no. Let's see. It should be there. Guys. Code. Code will show you other things. Did my life end? Oh, guys, my TikTok live ended. Hmm. I don't know how my TikTok live just ended. But wait, maybe I should even go back on. Man, I think I tell you guys, yo. I think I should, but cool. This is how far we got. We still need to figure out the zero stuff, which I'm too tired to do. But yeah, where's the TikTok people? Yo, TikTok guys. Askisi TikTok guys. It just ended. But let's push this. We're not done. We just need to fix bugs. I'm tired. I don't even know why I started the live again. Let's just end it. But thank you TikTok if you joined again. Thank you so much. The live just ended because of inactivity, unfortunately. YouTube. I can't even end it here. My TikTok is frozen. Watch it behave as soon as I open this. Hey man, king. No. As soon as you open Task Manager, these things will behave. Can't it la? Even you. Out. Okay guys, sorry, TikTok, sorry guys, my thing ended because of inactivity, but we figured out the bug. We just need to fix it. So the repo is on my profile, GitHub profile, then you can just check it out. Then we shall continue tomorrow. Bye. Okay, now it doesn't want to end. It's fine. I'll stay. Thank you, YouTube. Appreciate you guys. Shall see you guys tomorrow. We'll try and fix that bug and then finish up. I'm tired. Oh, ew. Okay, ask fast before it disconnects. Mesh, ask before it disconnects. Ish, who know? Who knew? Like, I think something is short because I'm on it's my Mac, right? So my Mac is obviously have its own apps in the background. So this is a virtual machine. So I think it allocated not that much RAM to it. Like when did I start? I started coding at 14. Started coding at the age of 14. So it's been 8 years now. I wanna end it, guys.